You ever feel like your willpower just vanishes into thin air? Especially when you're staring down a choice between a long-term goal and, a piece of cake. Well, it turns out there's this hidden psychological force, this secret story you're telling yourself, that's actually running the show way more than your willpower ever could. Okay, let's get into it.
Just think about the last time you were at a big dinner. You are stuffed, absolutely couldn't eat another bite of chicken or potatoes. But then, someone brings out the dessert menu, and like magic, this new dessert-sized pocket opens up in your stomach. We've all been there, right?
This little thing, this dessert paradox, it's more than just a funny quirk. It's a clue. It's a puzzle piece that shows us something really deep about how our minds are wired to make choices, not just about food, but about, well, pretty much everything.
And this is where it gets really important. This mental sleight of hand we do, it's not just for the dinner table. We use the exact same logic when we're dealing with our time, our energy, and yeah, especially our money. It shapes our lives in ways we don't even see.
So, what do we call this powerful, invisible force? Well, in the world of behavioral economics, folks like Nobel laureate Richard Thaler have a name for it: mental accounting. And trust me, once you see it, you are going to see it absolutely everywhere. So here's the official idea. Mental accounting is just our brain's habit of sorting our resources, like money or time, into different accounts. And here's the kicker. We treat these accounts totally differently based on the label we slap on them, not what they're actually worth. I mean, a dollar is a dollar, right? Not so fast. Okay, the easiest way to picture this is to imagine you're walking around with a bunch of invisible buckets. Each bucket has a different name on it, and you toss your resources in. And the name on that bucket, it sets all the rules for how you're allowed to use what's inside. And you know these buckets. We all have them. The money you get from a tax refund, that goes in the found money bucket, so it's super easy to spend on something fun. But that same amount of money from your paycheck, if it's in the emergency savings bucket, you guard it with your life. It's the same cash, but the story we attach to it gives it completely different rules. And this applies big time to our most valuable resource: time. How many times have you said, "Oh, I just don't have time to read a book or hit the gym"? That stuff goes in the not enough time bucket, but somehow we can always find a few hours to scroll Instagram or binge watch that new show. That goes in the always time bucket. It's the same 24 hours in a day, but we play by totally different rules. So we put things in buckets. Who cares? Well, this is why it matters. The labels on those buckets, they're just stories. That's all they are. And if they're stories, that means we can change them. And this, my friends, is where it gets really, really powerful. Your story is your strategy. Let's just sit with that for a second. The way you frame something, the little story you tell yourself about it, is probably the biggest decider of whether or not you'll actually do it. It's the difference between something feeling like a chore or a privilege. Okay, check out this real-life example. Picture this. Someone's at the gym grinding it out during a holiday week when most people are checked out. Another person walks up and says this to them. It kind of sounds like a drag, right? No days off. But the reply was, no days off from investing in myself. Boom. Did you feel that? That one little reframe changes everything. It's not about what's missing, rest. It's about what's being added, investment. The whole vibe just shifted from a negative to a massive positive. Just look at the difference in how those two feel. No days off feels like pressure. It's a have to. It's heavy. It's draining. But investing in myself, that feels like an opportunity, a get to. It's energizing, it has a purpose, and it's something you actually want to do.
And that's the whole point right there. The action is the same. Going to the gym. Nothing on the outside changed. The only thing that was different was the internal story, the label on the bucket. And changing that story changed, well, it changed everything.
Which brings us to the best part. You are the author here. You get to write your own story. This isn't about white-knuckling it with more discipline. It's about consciously designing better stories for yourself. Whenever you struggle with being consistent with health or work or money, the problem usually isn't that you lack willpower. The problem is the story. Are you telling yourself a story that sucks your energy or one that gives you power? So if you take one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. Stop trying to hunt for more willpower. It's exhausting. Instead, put your energy into crafting a better story for the things that you actually care about. That is the real secret. So let's bring it home. What about you? Right now, what story are you living out?
Are you in a season of eating all the cake? Or are you in a season of investing in yourself? Look, there's no judgment either way, but just knowing what your story is, that's the first most important step.
And that brings us to the final biggest question. Take a good, honest look at your invisible buckets, the stories you're telling yourself about your time, your money, your focus. Is that whole system, your mental accounting, is it actually building the future you say you want? The power and the story is yours to